There are some people. They are there for everyone, all the time. They listen to everyone with full attention. They carry everyone's burden on their shoulders. When a message comes in, they are always the first to reply. When a problem arises or someone needs help, the first person that comes to mind, the first to rush to help, is again them. But it never occurs to anyone to ask this question: how do they do all this? How are they really? And usually it doesn't occur to these people to ask themselves this question either, because choosing others over themselves is what makes them feel good. It works for them, it makes them feel valued and necessary, until one day they begin to feel a quiet and deep sense of lack in their own lives. If you have learned not to hurt others at the cost of hurting yourself, if saying you first has become a fully automatic reflex for you, if before wanting something, you think about whether it might create discomfort for someone else, this video may understand you far better than you expect, because today we will talk about the invisible cost of always choosing others instead of yourself. Thinking about others, caring about them, is not actually a bad thing. Empathy, understanding, self-sacrifice, these do not make you weak. In fact, most of the time they bring out your human side even more. But the real problem begins at this point. If in every situation, in every relationship, in every decision, you consistently choose others, this stops being a virtue and turns into an unquestioned, settled habit that keeps growing over time. And habits that are not questioned eventually turn into identity. After a certain point, people no longer see you as self-sacrificing, but as someone like this. They'll manage anyway. It doesn't matter to them anyway. They don't cause problems anyway. And the greatest danger is this: after a while, you begin to believe this too. In psychology, this situation is sometimes called people-pleasing, but this term often oversimplifies the issue, because this behavior represents far more than a choice for most people. This is actually a learning. Many people learn this at a very young age. They learn that being loved is a result of being compliant. They learn that being accepted is made possible by not causing discomfort. They learn that staying silent is necessary in order not to be abandoned. Sometimes these feelings are spoken out loud, and sometimes they are never spoken, but they are felt internally. And the child's mind reaches this conclusion: if I don't cause problems, I will stay. That is why choosing others over yourself is most often not kindness, but a survival strategy. This strategy may work for quite a long time. People like you, they trust you, they feel comfortable around you, but no one really asks this: at whose expense is this comfort provided? Because every time you say, it's not important, something inside you pulls back a little more. Every time you say, whatever you want, your own boundary lines become a little more blurred. And as time goes on, a strange reality emerges. You no longer know what you want. When someone asks you, what do you want? You hesitate, because this question feels unfamiliar to you. Your own desires and needs have been replaced by other people's expectations. Research shows that people who constantly choose others experience more burnout, more suppressed hidden anger, more inner restlessness, a deeper, gradually growing sense of emptiness. Yet from the outside, everything looks as if it's perfectly fine, because you learned how to look strong. You learned how to look resilient. You learned how to say, I'm managing. And you wore all of this like armor, while what lay beneath the armor stayed hidden. But enduring all of this is not the same as living. And one day, often triggered by a tiny moment, everything suddenly begins. Not with a major crisis. Sometimes with a sentence that isn't even that important. Sometimes with a very simple feeling of disappointment. And in that moment, you realize your tiredness isn't physical. It's a weight you've been carrying for years. This is where the hardest part begins, because at some point, a realization arrives. No one forced you into this. Many of these choices, even if you weren't aware of them, were made by you. This realization is uncomfortable. It brings guilt, regret, the question, why did I do this to myself? But blaming yourself at this point means missing the truth. What you did back then was the best you could. With the knowledge you had, the confidence you had, the fears you had, You did the best you were capable of, but now you are here. Other possibilities are on the table now. Choosing yourself is not selfishness. It is not crossing other people out completely. It is not throwing relationships away. It is simply this: giving yourself a place in the equation too. Sometimes saying no, sometimes being able to say, I'm not ready for this, sometimes saying, I have boundaries too. And yes, being able to say these things has a cost as well. Most people are not used to paying that cost. Some people are surprised by this new you. Some people distance themselves from you, but very few people say this. On the other side of the coin, constantly choosing others also has a cost. And that cost is usually this: living your own life as if you were merely a guest in it, becoming a stranger to yourself. If today you feel a tiredness whose cause you can't quite explain, if everything seems to be in its place, yet there is still a sense of something missing inside, perhaps the question that needs to be asked is this: when was the last time you chose yourself? Because every state of being has a cost, and the real issue is which cost we are willing to pay.